Please feel free. Eva. It's so beautiful to feel, huh? It's like the waves behind you on that painting. It takes us on a little, and then here again, and here again, here again. Just does it. It just does it. Whatever that is in charge. You can see it, huh? There's not like if it was up to you or me or anybody, it would not be like that, huh?
No, but yeah, like at the moment uh the system is or whatever is very busy with trying to figure out if it's like what I should decide, if it's safe. Like I'm getting so confused, and I don't know anymore. Like it's trying to see, and it is in terms of like this romantic relationships. Then like, okay, is it safe to be with this person? Is this person actually love? Does it actually love me, or does it? want me harm, you know, and I really I don't know. Yeah.
So that I, that I identity, let's tune into that. See, it's actually not confused. It's actually very clear. It's just when thoughts come on top, then it gets confused. Let's just be with that sense of I that you just said, you kind of spoke about as if you were that identity. That's how it sounded. Like I
Yeah.
get confused with relationship,
Yeah,
romantic, and
that's sometimes how it feels.
I know. Oh, we all know that. We all know that too well. It's just that's the confusion in a way, isn't it? That's the confusion because other than, if we are by grace, let's say, if we're by grace just here, when there's not that turmoil of those waves like the ones behind you in the painting, when that is not doing what it's doing, and you, for whatever reason, grace kicks in and all is well kicks in, then that doesn't even exist. You still speak as, okay, I'm going to the toilet or something like that, but it's a different kind of identity, let's say it like that, if it's an identity at all. But the moment that confusion kicks in, there's an identity born, a sense of I, and that really believes in itself. It's just, there's nothing wrong with that. We all know it. We all know it. We all know it so well. Yeah. Just interesting
But
to
it's
see.
really true. Like it's such a relief actually to, yeah,
Yeah.
that it's really
We
like,
don't
yeah, I don't have to do anything or cannot do anything even. Yeah.
know. That's a start. That's a start. But it doesn't mean, that nothing is going to happen. It's not, then we sit like a vegetable in the corner or something. That's not how it works in a certain way. It's just that one part or one aspect of the confusion relaxes. It's like, oh, that identity that thinks that it's in charge and that it should have a clear decision and that it should know and all of that, that maybe gets a little bit of a relaxation right then, until clarity kicks in again. Because when it's all clear from a sense of here-ness, let's say it like that, it knows what to do. It's like, yes, of course, it's very clear. I'm going there, or no, I'm not. It's very clear from that. We all know that too. Gosh, it's nothing more beautiful when, the clarity is there and it just moves you. And gosh, and you look back, whoa, that was fantastic. Mm. Yeah. So how is that sense of I right now that has all these ideas? Let's just see how it's doing. Because now we have
Yeah, it's
a bigger view.
yeah, it's quiet.
It's quiet. Yeah. Yeah. And then from here, maybe clarity is showing itself of moving or not moving towards that so-called romantic relationship, or better staying here, or not knowing right now, but let's just see if something comes, and no pressure. You also don't need to say anything, just if it comes easily.
Feels like I feel a lot of release in my throat or something. Also really feels that it is related to things that actually, which is of course maybe like normal, but to my past and even like things that, you know, ancestral and things like that, or like from my mom, or I don't know. Um,
So nothing wrong. Also nothing right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the thing, like trying to figure out like all the time, like what is the right decision? Like it's so exhausting. And I know,
Yes.
of course, it's so nice to be reminded because that's, but it really like it's even like in my sleep, it's trying
Yes.
to, yeah, to figure it out
Yeah.
all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, whatever that is looking for a solution because it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also what I'm sensing, there is a longing. Yeah. There's a longing for company, companionship, sharing, excitements. I mean, you know, the human, natural human exchange. That's what it's longing for, because your system can do it all by itself. It's doing it all the time. But wow, having a companion is very, very beautiful. Mm. And maybe there's even other layers underneath, because when it gets confused, mostly there are other layers underneath, at least in my experience. If it's inherited or from childhood or from wherever, where, I don't know, the child just didn't feel loved enough, or, and then it's looking for that in relating with somebody. And, when it's not getting the right response, or the response that makes it really blossom, then it gets a sense of something is wrong with itself. That's just how it works. You see that in children, and then later on in us. It's like, oh, I did get this funny response. There must be something majorly wrong with me. Oh gosh, how do I fix it? Yeah. So that's in my experience, one of the most important things, to always come back to, for whatever reason, life wired itself like this, created this kind of pathway or pattern. It did have a reason for that. So there's nothing wrong. And, I'm just speaking what always has been so very important and helpful for my personal system. You always have to translate it into your own. So if this doesn't make sense to you, just chuck it. If it makes sense to you, use it. For me, it was and still is so very useful to see that the system or life itself found a way with a situation that was very, very, very uncomfortable, if not even unbearable. It found a way to survive it. So, wow, thank you, life. It doesn't feel comfortable, but there's nothing wrong with this system. Life did it exactly this way. Life, existence, that which is in charge of everything, did it this way. So, wow, coming from a sense of there's something majorly wrong with me or with the other, to, wow, this is what it had to do to survive certain situations. Just again and again. Oh, yeah. And with the other, so-called other too, with the so-called other, same. And maybe that is the gift, out of that meeting. Maybe that's the gift, to see that again and again. Nothing wrong. It might even, mean that one never will have that romantic relating, which it is longing for so badly ever, or maybe just for 5 minutes or something like that. Could easily be. But at least there's a knowing nothing's wrong here. This is how life made this system by itself. Nobody had a say in it. It's, it's like, gosh, sperm and egg come together inside the body or outside the body or somewhere in the universe, because these days it can happen everywhere. And it does. And then all of a sudden there's this, actually, coming back to that wow of far out. Yeah, I mean, that's where my system finds peace again and again. Don't have a say in anything. Don't have a say in anything. And also, I mean, because I know a little bit about your story, you shared a bit. I find it extremely amazing that your system knows when to leave, when to go. I find that when, for whatever reason, the situation is not nurturing, or for whatever reason, and then it can just say, okay, I need to leave the situation. Wow. Gosh, my system went other pathways. My system would always hang in for ever and ever and ever and ever. So from where my system is looking, wow, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's and maybe I'm a little bit radical with that, or this system is like more like run, and then I
Yeah.
could maybe have run a little bit less far, I could also run to another room, for example. But yeah, instead of
Not to
halfway
another
across the world.
continent.
Yeah, that is a bit
Yeah.
more practical. But yeah, it is good to, yeah, it feels good to have time out. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also,
And
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, also for me, it's really good to know that, there can be all of these things. It doesn't matter if it's like in what sort of relating it is, and that it doesn't mean because I think in my system or whatever, there's then a belief that it's over or something if you have a fight with someone, or but it's also just okay, that life happens like that, and then um, like, yeah, there is not always like harmony, and um, yeah, like I can see also that maybe there's like preference of always wanting it, yeah, to have it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And it also depends on how your system would love to live. It's like, some systems are easy with making compromises. Some systems are just very easy with that. Okay, I just go to the other room and then I come back. For other systems, that doesn't work. So that's another thing in my own experience, to finally really tune into this system and just to see how it is wired and what is actually natural and healthy for it. So not looking anywhere else, but to see, wow, this situation is, I can stay with it. That's okay for my system. But this situation is actually no, for whatever reason, not to make anybody wrong, but just to see that is not healthy for this personal system. So for me, it has been very, very helpful to finally look here how this body system is actually wired, how it made itself and what is healthy for it and what is not healthy for it, instead of always looking out and having an idea how it should be. So now it's more honoring this with, just for how it is. Some people they can sit for hours in the sun, and for another system, it's only 5 minutes, and that's already too much. So now, you think, oh, sitting all day long in the sun is really good. I want to do that too. But every time you do it, you are burned and, all of that. So getting in touch with what is really healthy for this system here. So, if it's very sensitive to fights, why would you expose it to that? Why not? Oh, this is actually not really good for it. Because there's tolerances for every system differently. Some people can do that easily, no problem. They laugh after 2 minutes, and for others, they have to go in a different continent. So getting really in touch with what is good for the Ava body system and looking after her. And not having any ideas how she should be, because this is how she is. This is how she is. For whatever reason. That's, it's like stopping to try to get an oak tree into a pine tree. An oak tree is just something totally different than a pine tree, even though they are both trees. So your system would always relate differently than mine, for example. And that's absolutely fine. Every system is totally unique. Not sure if you're frozen. Ah, there comes movement again. Could you hear me? Yeah, good.
Yeah, every system is different.
Yes.
Right? Or did I hear it?
Yes. Every system
Connection is a
has a
bit bad.
every system has a slightly different response, and sometimes a radically different response. Some people are outgoing, some people are ingoing, some people are in and outgoing. Just you got to find out what your system is good at, or how your system likes to live, and look after that. Sometimes we can't avoid, But, with relationships or partnerships or companionships, whatever ship it is, it's nice to not run after any ideas how it should be or how one should be, rather than being in tune. It's like, this does not work for me. Doesn't interest me, actually. Or, yes, this is super cool. This is super cool. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
I was muted somehow.
Okay.
That it's super confusing. Yeah, sometimes when it's both, if it feels like it's both, like you there are things that are really, in the relating that are really, really good. And then there are things that that are not so good.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that and yeah.
Yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is for all of us. And say again.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I know that it's like then I have to figure out if it's oh, is it frozen? Yeah, that if it's if it's possible to navigate between all of that or not. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that will
but it's
go
really
for as long as it goes. For
but
some
it's
of
really,
us,
really, yeah, sorry.
it's the whole life, and for others it's just maybe 1 year, for the next one maybe 20 years, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what it really helps. What really is really nice is to feel that, oh yeah, okay, for this system, it's like this. Like I don't like sitting in the sun or something, and
Yeah.
that the other can love sitting in the sun, and that's also fine. Like it's not bad or not one is better, or that there's one way to be, but everybody has to feel what is good for them. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that feels already, yeah. And then also it's easier in communicating because you can just say like, okay, listen, this
Yeah.
is just not what I like or what is my interest. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe I can come back another day, or we can meet. Maybe we meet another day, but right now
Yeah.
I say goodbye, or yeah. And then it will become clear, if that is a companionship that is interesting for for a longer period of time, or if it just runs out of juice in a certain way. It's just one of those things, at least in my experience. If there's not a basic similar interest, it will run out of juice. Hormones use themselves up. It's just one of those things. And then is there anything left? Is there anything left, for you and the other to still move together? If not, you will anyway part. If there is something, let's say, solid underneath, something deep that binds you, then you will move together. And you might even move through all the thick and thin stuff. And you might be lucky to share all those difficult things also, because systems are so different. It's like, oh, when I look with Isaac and my system, we're kind of cruising still as buddies, or whatever we are. I don't even know what we are. Family, I can call it family. But man, are we different. But there is something absolutely solid underneath it all that makes us the deepest beloveds ever. And that's not in a romantic way. I don't know how to say. It's just
No,
so.
I think I understand. Yeah.
You understand, yeah. So, and obviously, that kind of keeps us living in the same house. So you've frozen again? Oh no, you're moving. Cool. So, and again, I'm just speaking from my own experience. All the other ideas that I had when I was with somebody, and not that there wasn't something solid also, but it wasn't enough to let us move forever, kind of. There's still, wow, beautiful memories or even love, but it's nice if there is something solid underneath all the glamour, all the romantic stuff.
Yeah, because that makes you bring like that is what something that I could feel is that I decided that that I that I went and that it was like totally over, and then something came together again, and I could really feel that that was not something that I was doing. Like it was just
Yeah,
this yeah, I don't know. Maybe you understand what I mean. So that
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So there's still something hmm, to be done. There's still something to be done.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
maybe you can be even more in tune with yourself. That's also my personal way again. I always love to look at the opportunity that life brings. So what's the opportunity here with meeting this person? What's the gift? What's the gift? And receiving that, and then, wow, and then you come to the thank you again. So, and that sweet surrender in a way. So, oh wow, I didn't see this. So, which brings even more clarity again, and more love flow for everything, independent of the other, independent of the other. It's more falling in love here than being in love here, which sets everything else free. I mean, we know all of that, but it's nice to speak it.
yeah. It's not, I can feel it when you speak.
Mm, mm,
Oh,
mm, mm. What a
thank you so much.
beautiful life it is, huh? With all those opportunities again and
Now it
again.
feels like that again. Yeah.
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 Now it feels like that again. Yes. Yeah. Mm.
Because when you feel that something is like, oh, you need to, then it feels like hell. Yeah. But now I can feel
Absolutely.
like, oh yeah, it's
You're at home again.
that feeling, especially that there's something wrong. That that feeling
Abs-
is yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. And
That
that
some
is,
things should happen that shouldn't happen. Uh,
yes, 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 yeah. And that is mostly related to when the system, whenever in history, had to go through a situation that was unbearable. It would not understand why it would have to be in a situation that's unbearable, and then it makes itself wrong, mostly when it's very young, when it doesn't have any understanding of it. For all of us, for all of us. So I don't know, by now, again, my own personal experience, you never know what comes next, but there is such a deep knowing of that it is not true that there's something wrong here. So whenever sensations, whatever it is, the sensations might be, gosh, up the wazoo strong. If you can have a little piece of paper in your pocket, always nothing wrong with the AVA system. Never. It just had to go at one point through unbearable situations, and that's when it made itself wrong. That's when it got destructive itself over itself, towards itself. Every system does that. He wants to fix it. So that you get the clear sense again. Wow, nothing wrong. That's just what it had to do. And how can I take care now? Okay, I just have to go to another continent. Or, change the room, however it is, whatever it is. So instead of turning against itself, turning for itself. Good luck.
Yes,
And lots of fun on the journey. Lots of fun and joy on the journey. Mwah.
Thank you.
Good like this?
Yeah.
Thanks, Eva. Marina. Beautiful red blanket you've got there.
Yeah.
Ah, very beautiful.
Yeah, it feels like this little organization, young organization's been really up, really, lots of sadness, lots of anger, lots of everything.
Mm.
And there hasn't been a whole lot of awareness. So there's also been a lot of thinking that's who I am.
But right now?
Right now, no. A bit more, yeah.
Far out, far out, far out, far out. Far out. Right now, not. Right now, it's just reporting. It's always good to point that out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
And it's like what it, like see her just screaming basically for
Yeah.
attention. That's how it feels.
Yep. Yeah. Mm. And again, it's just reporting, and we're here. We're here. Mm. We're not turning our head away. We are right here. And if possible, we're staying with the awareness of it. We're not disconnecting, but we're not getting sucked in. Yeah, you're doing amazing. And let's just see if it's possible to include what we call our body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Ah. Feet on the ground or wherever they are, legs. Thumb on your couch, knee on the chair, leaning against. Yeah. Oh, a little bit of wiggling. Yeah. And there comes a breath. Yeah. So something, disembodied a bit. Again, a very, very healthy survival mechanism. Very, very healthy. It just doesn't feel good. So, when it integrates back in, it's, gosh, it starts breathing. Yeah, shivering, breathing. Yes, yeah, moving. Oh gosh, there's a body. Yeah. Yeah. Changes everything. And also, it shows us, or it did show us, when it was ready to do that. Because I couldn't say these words 5 minutes earlier. Could say it only when I could say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then something listened. It's what an intelligence, huh? What isn't it?
So I need to write it on every wall and that
Yes.
it
I
just grows, and I just get totally drawn in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you're not.
Yeah.
And you started so, just bringing it back here again, you started so beautifully, Marina. You reported and you did not get sucked in. Remember those times when it wasn't even possible here at first?
Yeah.
So huge learning. Again, intelligence pure.
Yeah.
In awe. In
Yeah.
awe. Being invited to witness that, I tell you, is
Yeah.
major. Yeah. So going with that, rather than, again and again, it does that. Yep.
Round and round.
Round and round, and there you are. Feet are on the ground. Breathing is happening. Something is filling, including physicality. That's actually what that fullness is. The fuller, the more juicy, the more present.
So something left because I felt weird. I wouldn't even, energetically weird is the only word that was described.
Yes. Yeah, that's a sign for it.
Strange and not well, but can't put my finger on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old pathways, old survival mechanisms. Yeah. For all of us like that. Again, for all these bodies works the same way. And you see when you walk around how many bodies, let's say like that, are actually pretty empty. Yeah. You feel it in conversations, you feel it, you know, on the road. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of zombie life going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But survived. Mhm. It's just far out to recognize that. And then, you know, and if it's even just in our field, who gives a, you know, doesn't matter where it can include itself in fullness again. Mm. So we are the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones.
But when you're in that loop, so not felt like that the last.
Oh, I know, Marina. I know. That's why I say we are the lucky ones.
Yeah. And it's felt, I don't know if there's anything to the fact whether there's a why, but it's felt stronger negative emotions than ever. You know, there's a why there. My mind wants to know.
Yeah, I totally get that why. You know, and it's just, I also I don't know if the answer is true, but what makes sense to me is that, you know, we are so sensitive. We feel everything. We feel everything. If there is some destruction going on somewhere on the planet,
Yeah.
and our system knows that pathway, that frequency, it will feel it. I mean, you know, on Maui, there was just this big fire. I know because Isaac was or is there. And I mean, just seeing the destruction. Wow, I don't know how many people, over 100 people dead, if not more. I'm not sure how many.
Yeah.
Lost just in a few hours, they lost everything. You know, it's if your system is tuned to something like that, it will feel the devastation. And our systems are used to make it personal. You know, then it's like, what is wrong with me? But it is, you know, you are very fine. We are all so very fine. If that frequency just clicks into something in us, you will feel it. It's just one of those things again I mean, it's a learning for all of us. To not make it personal. It's like, wow, might be something going on somewhere. It feels very personal, but let me just see. Something has removed itself. Maybe there's somebody around. You know, it's like that's the practice. If there's something, you know, that's what my system is busy with most of the time, to regulate itself. Wherever it is, to regulate. That's the job. That's the job. Because it gets in touch with all kinds of beings that don't know how to regulate. So you constantly co-regulate for others too. And it's always, you know, the one that has learned more has to do maybe a little more because the other is unconscious. So seems the job to be. But what a privilege, huh? What a privilege to whatever you've learned, to use it for peace, to use it for peace, to use it for love, for freedom. I mean, those three go together, huh? Peace, love, and freedom. It's kind of all the same. Using everything we have learned for peace. Anyway, that's very, very interesting to my system.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to mine too, but I sort of have there's a lot of isolation that happens here. I get, yeah, for various reasons.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know,
I call it as isolation. I don't know.
yes, you could call it also something else.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you could also call it um, time with yourself, precious time with yourself. You could call it whatever, you know. You could make it something beautiful. Like,
yeah,
wow, yes, precious time with myself. How will I use it? Oh, I plant a plant. Oh, I'm making a tea. You know, you kind of, that would be also a wonderful practice.
there's a wanting, there's a need for that, and there's a need for connection. But I think I feel there's less people that I feel connected to out there. Yeah. And so then I'd rather have no connection than just social connection.
See, so I hear you. I know what you mean. And let's see if we can also just go with different language here. Because I know you know deeply that there is connection always and everywhere. Yes, I mean, when we sitting in this being at home, let's say it like that, when I am at home, when I am, this, there is only connection. The deeper it goes, there is only connection. So I know you know that, yes.
Yeah,
So
I say that, and with family, yeah, amazing couple of hour chat with my son yesterday, and it was deep, it was deep.
Yes.
And I wasn't feeling well. I was out to lunch, but it still was, yeah, it was, yeah, with my brother, yeah, yeah, and with some friends. But there's a belief here that it's not enough. That's the little one. That's
okay. So there is a belief there.
Yeah,
up until now.
One. Yeah, yeah.
Up
yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice feeling whatever that was come in. See, that's also our job. All these aspects of humanness or livelihood that believe for whatever reason that they are separate. Wow. To invite them home. But it's interesting, It just, these beliefs are so strong, huh? How they can just take over a whole life in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So, my job is somehow to tell you again and again that it's not true. So that, but actually to get you to that frequency where you see for yourself that it's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see now.
Mm. Because if I'm going with it, then we are lost. We are both lost.
Yeah.
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 So my job is in a way, not to go into denial, but at the same time to keep you here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that aspect that's, yeah. So sort of being aware of that aspect is like mothering that little one.
Yes. Yes.
You could say, isn't it? It's the awareness that's mothering it, That
Yes.
sounds
Yeah.
weird, but that's
No, no, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what mothers do. You can
Yeah.
see it also everywhere, It's when there are little ones, then there is a mother that has the time and the capacity, let's say like that. She shows the young one how to live life,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She shows the child how to regulate and all those, if everything goes well, and she has the capacity and she knows how to do it herself, then she shows. I mean, humans have a huge job because our growing up time takes so long.
Yeah.
You see with other mammals, they are done in just a few months in a way. And then they know how to live their lives.
Yeah.
Mm. For us, it takes just really long. And then, our humans, oh gosh, look at the history with all those difficult times, that wars and whatever. And nature doing their thing. And, yeah. So we
It's
didn't
funny.
have it.
I did a worms. It's called worm process workshop, and I haven't done anything like that for years, and it was powerful. And the practitioner was very good. She uses a lot of SE, sensation based. It's very, very good. I felt held, but since then it's been worse. It's like I think that little aspect had some way of expressing or more awareness, and then I went home and kind of shut the door. Yeah. So that's them as well.
Mm.
That make any sense? Probably.
Yeah, sometimes when a door is opened, to something deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also what it does, it opens up because, I don't know when that was, but I witness how your system also has a much more capacity to be present than, I don't know, a few years ago. So your system has learned so much.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's thanks to you and Isaac and Essie. Essie was huge. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. And then it is daily practicing. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like whenever it comes to mind, it's like, oh, how's the system doing? Oh, it's actually okay. It's actually pretty balanced. It's actually a bit out there. Or, like, oh, how does it work again? How does it work? How do I regulate my system? Oh, I forgot for a moment. Okay, let me just have a shower or a good smell or, whatever works for your system, using every tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
No, I
is.
didn't even realize I was out, you know, like there was an aspect out.
Yes. No, I totally understand.
I'm
It's,
sure there's lots anyway still out there permanently, you know, here.
yeah, if you make it personal,
Yeah,
but there again, you know, it is personal and it's collective. It's just also both at the same time.
yeah,
It's always also a personal aspect, you know, and you will feel that when it's really freaked out, it's very, very, very personal. But then it's very often also absolutely collective.
Yeah.
So, but the main thing is that when you wake up in the morning, checking in, and start regulating whatever you do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying that so strongly, but that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that too. If I look at this system, I never knew that it was so highly traumatized. I had no clue how traumatized it was. Again and again, finding aspects far out, such a freaked outness somewhere in the system. And then maybe because there's also the knowing of all the other, that it can see it so deeply. I'm not sure about it, but anyway, on this human plane, regulating whenever it is possible, whenever it comes to mind. That is the recipe for this system. I don't know anything else. I don't know. I'm so grateful for having learned that. But it needs to be alive. It's not something you can put into your pocket and then it's done.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Everything you've learned, use it
Yeah.
whenever it comes to mind.
Yeah, because I felt like I was doing much better a few years ago because, you know, we had a strong sangha here, so had a lot of connection and support. And then, you know, had you coming over and Isaac coming, I had SE sessions. And now, you know, it's like, oh, shit, I have to do this on my own.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, God, yeah.
I am so glad you bring it. Yes, I'm so glad you're saying that, Marina.
Yeah.
Because it is now you get on the bike yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Now it's getting onto the bike, getting onto the surfboard. Now it's time. You have all the tools, you've learned it all. Now you have to use it. And you will fall off here and there. Maybe you not. I definitely.
Yeah.
But we have to do it ourselves now. It's time. It's time. It's time to do it ourselves. And then we show it to others.
Yeah.
Yes. Finally we got around to it. Yes, yes, Marina, you got to do it.
Oh dear.
You're ready. You're ready.
Thanks so much, Meike.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Shall we? Judith.
Hey, Meike.
Hello.
Hi. There is here something touched in the speaking with Eva around that deep ingrained sense of something is wrong.
Yeah.
And that is just sitting in the system here. I really feel it again. We did it again more often, but something is really touched in there.
Yeah.
And the fear of when I meet, and that is stronger now. I really felt the fear of meeting you. because in my relating with Isaac in the retreat, the 2 times in the share didn't go well. So out of that strong sense of I, and is very disappointed and did it wrong again, and the fear of doing it wrong is also now that I like to connect, and that fear of withdrawing or not being visible. And so that's a bit what I like to bring here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we honor
And
that?
yeah. And actually
Instead
also
of-
the longing to meet and to be connected and be together in one-to-one here.
Yeah.
And yet always this, that fear.
Yeah. So where do we start?
Yeah, where do we start? Here. For me, it's like here, just here. And speaking it gives already so much space.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the sense of that there's something wrong is, how's that right now?
It's more in the background. It's there, but it is more in the background. Yeah.
And is there a belief in that there is something wrong?
Not in this moment. No, not in
far
this
out.
moment.
Far out.
It's seen. It is as if it is seen. Yeah. And it is. It's always on the edge of, is it conscious or unconscious? But somehow it's deep ingrained. I can feel that there's a depth of ingrainment in the cells that something is wrong, or the deep fear that it is doing something wrong. But here I am. So I also feel in this moment that I'm here.
Yeah. So that sense of that there's something wrong is a sensation?
It is a belief. In this moment, it feels more as a belief than a sensation, actually.
So
that's interesting.
What's the difference? What's the difference? I'm curious. What's the
Me
difference
too.
between belief and a sensation?
Yeah.
So a belief doesn't feel?
The belief is then more the mind.
Okay.
And the sensation is more in the body. But now I'm curious, where is this deep sense that something is wrong is sitting as a sensation in the body?
Okay.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it starts wiggling.
Yeah. It starts wiggling here down.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's actually really nice. I can feel it here too.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Now it comes. Hear the breath. Yeah. Wow. I've experienced that it is very low, where this is hiding or sitting or somehow very low in the body. Yeah. Wow. Oh. Oh. Need a bit more moving.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ah. Yeah. Oof. Oof. Ah. 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 Oh. Ah. Ah.
As if life ever could make a mistake, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Such a deep fear for that. I see.
No,
Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah.
makes totally sense.
Mm.
It really makes it, to me anyway, it makes
Mhm.
a lot of sense. It's like when the system doesn't get the response to grow, you know, to get the guidance actually that it needs from life itself through, let's say, through the mother, it doesn't understand why not. And somehow with the humans, it turns against itself, makes itself wrong. Mm. But luckily, here we are.
Yeah.
Also, life is showing it to us, you know, just far out,
Yeah.
so that it now can complete itself, so that it doesn't need to believe that anymore. Maybe, maybe.
Another wave.
Again, I mean, how lucky are we, huh?
Yeah, very lucky. I'm very lucky and grateful that it shows itself just through those layers. Yeah. Yeah.
So how is it from here now? The chair situations and all that
Yeah.
stuff?
It feels now, wow, this sense of fear is always in between the meeting. And now it's just seen and letting go and letting go and letting go. So it's freeing up. Yeah. I also see that in this sense of fear of doing it wrong, that it wants to withdraw, that it doesn't want to show itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And makes also sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like to hide. Yeah.
It does not feel good to come out when there is that fear to connect. It does not feel good for all of us. See, that's why there is so much avoidance for so many of us.
Yeah.
You know, when do we really take a moment to settle with another, without going into blah blah, or maybe even into conversations that are on the edge of discomfort.
Yeah.
You know, we settle for crumbs very, very, very often. Very often.
Yeah. And underneath that deep longing, for that deep connection and satisfaction of connection.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that is actually the beauty in the depth of connection, that it is really satisfying.
Yes.
The felt sense of meeting and seeing each other in this.
Yes, yes. And there again, you know, if our system has not learned how to regulate, good luck.
It can't. Then it can't.
It can't.
There's no possibility.
No possibility.
Yeah.
So there again, you know, just that we know that is huge. So now it's like reaching somewhere where maybe something is possible, or where maybe even just a sharing, like we are sharing this with each other.
Yeah.
And that brings us already closer.
Yes, yes.
Just
very much closer, just sharing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, that's huge. And then the next step, I'm just talking from my own experience again, is that warmness towards self. You know, really, really the deep knowing.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong here. Fear or no fear, feeling wrong, whatever it is. The truth is there is nothing wrong here, ever. Nothing. This is how life made this. There was no choice whatsoever in it, as far as I can see. you know, that eye that speaks would have never chosen it like this. Never. So the compassion for, compassion is even, you know, it's nearly a bit like pity, but just the warmth. It's
No, the
okay.
compassion is resonating for me. It's so,
Resonating for you.
yeah,
Cool.
it's really the heart
Yeah.
connection, the heart,
heart.
towards itself.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that brings another wave of tears.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also feel that there's a hand going to my belly and the heart,
Oh.
and then
Mhm.
yeah. Oh, where are all those tears coming from? I go so deep.
Mm. I'm glad they're coming. It's actually so nice when tears are coming. It's movement. It's so good to see, you know, just with all of what you shared, and I know there again it might feel very personal, but that's for most of us, you know, that's how these bodies move around with all those attachment styles, different attachment styles, you know, that are always based on fear and of being wrong or whatever, and then trying to avoid or overstepping. I mean, just, you know, that's how most of us live their lives, right? Even us so-called conscious people, huh?
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. I'm just so grateful again that we can see it and maybe have some moments where it's not made wrong. You know, this is just how life arranged itself, and it's dancing like this. It's dancing like this. And how to stay, with the heart, with the love of the big, big heart, in spite of all. And that's what we are, that's what it's asking us. Yeah, how to love all of it. Yeah. All of it. All of it. It's a big job we've got, huh?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I guess it
So
couldn't
big.
happen to nicer people than us.
Ah, it's really amazing.
Wow.
Ah, wow.
It's good like this.
It's really good like this. Thank you so much, Meike.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for all. Yes, drink a lot of water.
I will. I will. Thank you all. Wow.
Ah. Everybody who cried, lots of water. Rishi,
Hi, Meike.
hi. You're still in Portugal?
Still in Portugal, yes.
You know, you're very welcome to speak if there's anything you like to explore.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
I was just noticing that these meetings, they really crack my heart open to this awareness that even though it's very common to relate to my being, your being, it's just a little bit more like a shared being. And in that shared being, we're like co-living. I don't know, like uh, but there's a strong sense of connectedness in which those boundaries they're not so clear anymore, and that's a good thing. It really feels beautiful in a way that like we're looking on behalf of every single one, and feels like whatever anyone is going through, it's actually happening to all of us. And when something gets dissolved, it gets dissolved in all of us. So there's an appreciation for that. And in a way, it was very healthy because it feels as if the deeper I go, the more it's revealed, things that get dissolved. And whenever I take that as something like a task or something that needs to be accomplished at some point, and then it's not good. Then it becomes personal. Then it takes into like it just contracts. And this meeting is just reminding me in a way that it's not about me in that sense. It's not personal. We're all moving together in this, and collectively in this unity at the same time. What a relief it is, actually. It releases, like we're all together in this. This is what I've been feeling. And I'm also grateful for the resourcing it brings. I find it very, very healthy.
Everything that invites us to really be here is, wow, what a support, huh? What a gift. All that running, like dissociation that's happening by itself, all those movements in all different directions. We are so blessed to have a bit of a time out where everything can come here into this moment. Yeah. To get to get a deeper understanding of what this is actually all about, huh? If it's about anything.
It's so relevant. There's just this deep longing to, I don't know, I just feel so compelled to be with that as much as I can.
Yeah. That's all one can do.
In a way, it's a funny swing because sometimes, like, I really stopped my life on a practical level as much as I could just to be with that as much as I can. it became really, and still it swings. But every time, in a way, attention moves away towards some personal structure or doership idea or whatever it is, any agenda or intention, actually. It's painful. It's
Yeah.
painful.
I know.
It's like it hurts so badly. And it actually, maybe it always did. I just didn't notice.
Yes.
And now that I feel so naked, like as you know, like I really feel like the skin from, I don't know, some reptile was shed, and then there's like this very fragile, sensitive. It's naked, but it also it's expanding.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. It's both at the same time, huh?
Yes, it's both at the same time.
Mm. Mm.
And it's a very different because I think in my system in this language, it was really a champion in dissociation. I started noticing that like it was always searching for peace, internal, external, avoiding conflict. So fighting is not a great idea if you want to avoid conflict. And running away also sometimes causes more conflict. So dissociation was, you
Yeah.
just freeze and stay there, and at some point it will calm down.
Mm.
And I kind of, as I grew up, I kind of thought it was actually something useful or cool, spiritual, I don't know. And then very recently I started acknowledging the distinction between dissociation and actually being present without owning it, but very much still feeling what's going on. It's just not owning what's going on, but it's not running away from it. It's, I don't know, it's even still not so clear to me yet when it's dissociation or when I'm just like not owning it, but
Mm.
still there.
I mean, it is actually quite clear what, I mean, what dissociation is. It comes always a stress with that. I mean, you know how it feels to be at peace, to be restful right here in this moment, as fully as possible. When there comes a bit of stress in there, system will not be present, will not be able to be present to and feel connected at all. It will go into a contraction with an identity and a sense of I that is separate. And that's the start of running, actually. And and if it can't run away, it will go into a freeze mode, playing dead. Just all the survival mechanisms a system has, the fight, flight, freeze mechanism. And at one point it will just fly out, then it's gone, then it's like a blackout in a certain way. It will not have a memory, it will just not know life at all. Most of us, there are so many of us, let's say it like that are not really fully here for whatever reason. It's a survival mechanism not really being here because it has been very unbearable. But most of us also have had a glimpse of, at least a bit of rest And that is when embodiment can be included, when that sense of all is well comes in. Oh, then there's peace, then that identity that's normally there that speaks as I, it still speaks as I, but it is wide. It is wide, but at the same time fully embodied. So it's actually very clear, the pathway of disassociation, where it just goes into freak out survival mode and even out of the body, where total blackouts. And the other is, oh, here I am. Oh. And with luck, in a lifetime, we get a sense of that, maybe once or twice. I mean, that's what we long for. Huh? And then, gosh, if we can live like that and support each other, we will see when there is a system that needs a hand, because it's a bit of freaked out or what, then there will be others and, oh, come, we put our wings around. But right now, it's like most of the people on this planet are in survival mode constantly. So there's no common sense anymore. You can't actually really have a conversation because there's always that identity speaking, that I, that contracted sense of I. And it will not be possible to have an exchange from that, in that state. It's rare that there is when there's the fear driving everything, yeah, then you have a world like we have.
Yeah, yesterday was so shocking. I went to the city and went to Burger King, and something I definitely do not do usually. But somehow life took me there, and it was such a contrast, and it just really felt like a graveyard. It felt so weird energetically, also so restless and noisy. And, I was think that people don't look each other in the eyes, and yes, but I felt uh, so much compassion in a way, because I could relate to that. I could see the life behind it. It just felt like it wasn't available. And I was just sitting there and feeling all these weird sensations in my body. What is this? And in a way, it felt like even in that place there was a deep connection, but it was more like uh like most people were definitely not available in attention wise or whatever. And it's a crazy world.
Absolutely. It's a crazy, crazy world. Yeah.
Resting is all we can do for ourselves, for others.
I couldn't hear that. Say again.
To me, it feels like resting is all we can do for ourselves, for others, for the world. It's That place is what I felt that works the best. Meeting someone that's really resting was the most impactful thing that ever happened to my life. So,
Thank you. Janet.
Hi, Meike.
Hello. How nice to see you.
Meike, can you speak so I can see?
Ah, yes. Can you see me?
Yeah, sorry. I think
Good.
Rishi had his, I don't know if he's muted, so there's a lot
Yeah.
happening here because of that.
Okay. Now it's good?
Yeah, I can see you, so yeah, thank you. These little tentacles kind of go out and they come back again and then go out.
Amazing, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
No control.
That's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it's interesting. I've always felt that I've been quite good
I've not been too bitchy. I used to be very bitchy, I felt. And today I found myself back in the midst of it all. And I was just, I kind of looked back and I was horrified, kind of how much, yeah.
No control, huh?
No. Yeah.
No control. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had control, it would never be like that. Never.
No. But I can feel myself beating myself up because of that.
Because of that idea that you have a choice.
Yeah, that I had a choice, that
Yeah.
that it, yeah, that I should have known better.
Yes.
And at the
Yeah.
same time feeling bad when I was doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course. It's nothing worse than watching the whole show. It's like, what?
oh my God, how can I be doing this again? I thought I threw that out the window years ago. I haven't, I know I haven't, but with particular people, I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, I'm just curious. You have looked at that before, I know, but let's just look again. How is it when there's a seeing that there is no choice in how we behave, how as a human being? What does it do when to see that there's actually no choice?
I can feel like, yeah, softening or
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just
Yes.
something. It feels like there's a little bit of an opening. Oh, something that feels, yeah, maybe a bit solid before. With you just saying that, then it just feels, yeah, like compassion. Just this, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of, um, it kind of stops you, stops, stops the thinking, and it feels maybe a little bit more experiencing bodily.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm. There's more noticing of that. Feels a little bit more in tune.
Yes.
Yeah, with the sensations. Yeah. That yeah, feels so nice. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just expansion or something.
Mhm.
A sensation of expansion. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Peace, perfection. Oh my God, thank you.
Oh, thanks for taking a moment to really going with it, with that
Yeah.
see, with that it causes so much suffering for all of us, that belief that we have a choice of doing it differently than our systems do.
Yeah.
So much suffering. And I'm not saying that to make it good or something, that we get an idea, or it doesn't matter, it matters. It matters, of course it matters. But what beating ourselves up does is much worse, I find.
Yeah.
It keeps the cycle so alive. That's that wheel of suffering in a way. It's like you showed me so beautifully. It was like stepping out, something softened and came back home. That those are my words. It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
And I like to say it again, because it can be misunderstood, that not having a choice, because then it's, oh, I don't have a choice, and I just go and do whatever I want. That's not, and I know you know that, because you showed us so beautifully. It was like warmth and love came back in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I need you with me every day. Just to remind me.
Yes. Otherwise look up the video, it's there again. It's online. You can always watch it again.
Thank you, Martha. Nice
Yes,
to
thank
see you.
you.
Yeah,
Likewise.
thank you.
Mm. Thanks for showing up again and again. Thanks for being on this journey with me. Mwah. Love and peace. And see you around, huh?